Another night, another World Cup memory. Welcome back to the Armchair Galacticos podcast. Tonight's episode, Mexico versus England, an all-time classic. England just won a World Cup match at the Azteca for the first time in the tournament's history, down to 10 men in front of more than 80,000 people, and they did it 3-2. This one had almost everything, including an hour-long weather delay before kickoff that gave the noise inside that stadium even more time to build. Mexico came into this as co-hosts at altitude, in front of their own fans, unbeaten and having conceded exactly 0 goals across 4 matches. Everybody expected Thomas Tuchel's England to have to grind through the opening exchanges just to survive the atmosphere and the thinner air. That lasted about 36 minutes. Jude Bellingham scored twice in 98 seconds. Harry Kane laid the first one off for a late run, and almost the identical move produced the second just after. 2-0 England, and the loudest building at this World Cup went completely silent, which honestly might be more unsettling than the noise. Julián Quiñones pulled one back before halftime with a well-taken finish from the left channel, and Mexico went into the breakdown only 2-1, still very much alive. Then the match turned on itself. 54th minute, Jarell Quansah, a high challenge, studs up on Jesus Gallardo. VAR review, straight red card. England down to 10 men with 36 minutes plus stoppage time still to survive at altitude in Mexico City with the crowd smelling blood. Instead, England scored again. Raul Rangel brought down Anthony Gordon in the box. Harry Kane stepped up and converted the penalty. His 6th goal of this tournament, his 14th at World Cups all time, which ties him with Gerd Müller for 5th on the all-time list. 3-1 England. And then because this match wasn't going to let anybody relax, Kane ended up conceding a penalty himself about 10 minutes later, fouling Brian Gutierrez, confirmed by VAR. That made him the first player since at least 1966 to score and concede a penalty in the same World Cup match. Raul Jimenez converted it. 3-2, grandstand finish. Mexico threw absolutely everything at England's 10 men for the final stretch. Corner after corner, cross after cross into a box that suddenly had one fewer defender in it, and Jordan Pickford was excellent when he needed to be. England's 10 men held on. Full time, Mexico 2, England 3. England become the first team ever to beat Mexico at the Azteca in a World Cup match, and only the 3rd team to win there at all across 89 competitive matches in that stadium's history. Bellingham's brace, notably, is the first double scored at the Azteca in a World Cup since Diego Maradona managed it back in 1986. Some genuinely elite company for a 22-year-old. For Mexico, it's a brutally familiar territory. Eliminated at the round of 16 for the 8th time since 1986, which remains the only year they've gone further at a World Cup they hosted themselves. Some England reporters couldn't resist pointing out the poetic symmetry. This ground, this stadium, 40 years on from Maradona's hand of God against England at the very same tournament. Call it karma, call it coincidence. England will happily take it either way. Jarell Quansah's night, meanwhile, was a nightmare of a different kind, a moment of rashness on the biggest stage of his career that could have sunk England's whole tournament, and instead becomes a footnote because everyone around him refused to give in. That's the story of a lot of great away wins. Somebody makes a mistake, and the rest of the team simply steps up and grinds it out. Now, the couch has to be honest here because we don't get many nights like this. We predicted Mexico 1, England 2. We called Bellingham to score, we called Kane to score, we called Quiñones to score for Mexico. We missed the second Bellingham goal, and we missed Jimenez's late penalty, so it's not a perfect card, but that's about as close as this show gets to nailing a scoreline in a chaotic 10-man red card weather-delayed classic. Confidence rating, suspiciously, almost embarrassingly accurate, and we're allowed to enjoy that for one episode. England reached the quarterfinals for a 3rd consecutive World Cup, and they'll face Erling Haaland's Norway in Miami on July 11th. Haaland versus Bellingham and Kane. Circle that date. That's the Armchair Galacticos read on Mexico versus England. The couch is signing off, right about some of it, wrong about most of it, though on this one, admittedly, a little more right than usual.